Hi there! Welcome to How to Get Your Kids to Behave by Understanding Their Five-Element Type, even during a pandemic. I'm Dr. Lindsay Siegel-Slott, and I want to congratulate you for being here. Really, it is so rare for parents to take time out of their schedule to attend a parenting talk. So give yourself a pat on the back. I know it's really tough to be in the trenches, but this is going to make it a whole lot easier for you. Okay, let's get started. So who is this webinar for? This is for moms of kids aged 2 to 17 who struggle with behavioral problems or have kids that just don't seem to respect them at all. Or maybe you've seen your kids' behavior get way worse during the pandemic. Or you can't get your kids to pay attention to anything not on a screen. If you're ready to try a different approach, one that may not be in agreement with what the grandparents or teachers are telling you to do, then this is for you. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to help you minimize misbehavior, yelling, and worries about virtual schoolwork not getting done. We're going to talk about the 5-element types, so each parent and kid has her own 5-element type. Knowing your type and your kid's type allows you to understand why your kids behave the way they do so you can get them to behave. I'll help you identify your kids' element types so you can get your kids to behave without having to yell. I'll help you identify your type and your partner's element type so you never have to play good cop, bad cop again. I'll help you learn how to parent based on your kid's 5-element type so you can stop pushing each other's buttons. I'm going to show you how to use the 5 elements to completely turn around seemingly hopeless situations with your kids. Does this sound like you? You want your kids to respect you, but they seem to have no fear of authority. You want your kids to stop hitting each other, but they don't listen to you and they don't care if they get in trouble. Have you seen this going around Facebook or the internet? He'll either become the president or lead a prison gang, and you're really not sure which it will be? Yeah, it's kind of funny unless that's your kid. Then it's not so funny. You don't want to have to yell, but you can't figure out how else to get your kids to listen and pay attention. How about this? Have you ever said this? I'll never be like my mom. But then you hear yourself saying the exact same things that ticked you off as a kid. You look forward to the rare outings since lockdown, but then they quickly end in total disaster. Instead, you want to actually enjoy parenting instead of counting the hours until bedtime. You want to hear your kids tell you they love you without you having to say it first, prompting them. You want to look forward to fun outings with your kids. Maybe you're thinking you just need to read a few more parenting books or blogs. Or maybe you think you need to be patient and let this strong-willed phase pass. Or you need to just lay down the law like teachers and grandparents keep telling you to do. If this is you, I've got good news. None of this is necessary. The research says the most effective parents know how to adjust their parenting practice based on each kid's personality. I'm going to tell you the real problem. The real problem is kids need a different parenting practice based on their 5-element personality type. And this is especially critical during the pandemic. Well-meaning parents tend to want to change their kids' nature. The 5 elements of nature, wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, represent personality types. Trying to drastically change a person's nature leads to disaster. It's more effective to adjust your parenting practice to fit each kid's element. Knowing the kids' and parents' elements helps you understand why they do what they do so you can get your kids to behave. The adjustments work the same way as in nature. So just like water puts out a fire and a metal knife can carve into wood. Effective parenting is about understanding your kid's element, your element, and being able to adjust your parenting for each kid's element. When you learn how to parent based on your kid's element type, you can find out what really motivates them in a deeper way than just candy, toys, or other material things. You can connect with them in a way that earns their respect, devotion, and love, so they want to listen to you. You can help them sail through the pandemic and come out with good behavior at home and at school. You can figure out their strengths and challenges and point them toward a path to success in life. What happens if you don't? Well, their behavior gets worse. Other kids won't play with your kids, or other kids' moms won't let their kids play with your kids if they're a bad influence. Your kids get more and more distant and disrespectful. And then tragically, there are rising suicide rates among teen boys and girls. Another problem is if you don't parent this way, your kids might not really know themselves, so they lack direction. Did you know that only about 41% of college students take just 4 years to graduate? Yeah, now they keep changing majors because they don't know what they're doing, so they might take like 5, 6, 7 years. My promise to you, I'll share the 4 steps to unlock the secrets of effective parenting so you can get your kids to listen, behave, and succeed in school and life without killing their spirit. Once you master these steps, you'll finally feel joy again with your kids, feel like an effective parent, and best of all, see your kids thrive like never before. So who am I? I'm a parenting coach, but not your typical parenting coach. I'm not a psychologist or a social worker. I come at parenting from a whole different angle. I'm a former engineer, so I appreciate systems and logic. But I'm also a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, so I'm an expert in customized medicine for the individual at that moment in time. I'm an expert in the 5-element personality types, which are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. These are the same 5 elements of nature that form the basis for acupuncture, and also for feng shui, the art of placement. So how did I get here? Well, not long ago, I was like you. I was yelling at my son for not listening, for spacing out. I felt like a failure because I couldn't follow advice that teachers and child development experts were telling me to do. And I hated myself because I reminded myself of the way my mom yelled at me as a kid. I had to avoid playgrounds because I would take my son to the playground and then I'd hear other kids complain to their moms that my son was following them or chasing them. And these other kids would say, well, that kid isn't my friend. Why is he doing that? And they would try to avoid my son. So it was just heartbreaking. Then when I would take my son to soccer practice, I had to look away because he never did what the coach told him to do. He was just always just at looking in outer space, just in his own world. So I resorted to using YouTube as a full-time babysitter because he wouldn't let me read books to him. And all the child development experts and teachers kept telling me to get play dates for him. But the problem is none of the kids wanted play dates for him. So I would try to talk to the moms and they would just avoid me because their kids didn't want play dates. So I put him in front of YouTube. So I started reading all the parenting blogs and books, including ones about ADHD and autism, because even though I had him evaluated professionally and people told me he wasn't on the spectrum, but I just didn't believe it. I just wanted to keep reading about it and figure it out myself. Then I took more courses in acupuncture pediatrics, thinking that I could fix him with just the right acupuncture and Chinese herbs, and I could fix him myself. Well, I tried everything, and then I finally started to see the connection between the 5 elements and parenting. Once I realized that my son was a water type and I accepted his challenges and learned his strengths, it changed everything. See, this is him rappelling down a mountain. I allowed him to be himself. I realized he thrived around younger kids and excelled in individual sports like climbing and gymnastics. I stopped worrying about why he spaced out in preschool and soccer lessons. I stopped trying to get him play dates. Instead, I just focused on watching him, observing his true interests. I stopped desperately trying to make mommy friends and get him play dates because I realized I'm also a water type and that just doesn't work for water types. So my situation now, well, since he started public school, my phone just blew up with texts from moms that I didn't even know because their kids had told them they wanted play dates with my son. And then his teachers have always just raved now about how well he follows directions and participates in class ever since he started public school. And now I allow him to watch YouTube videos without any mommy guilt because actually they help him learn new things and they inspire him to reach his athletic goals. In this picture, that's the 2 of us. We're doing a multi-pitch climb up a real mountain. I mean, tough stuff. He's an excellent climber. I have no reason to yell at him because when we disagree, He listens to my explanation because he's observed how I listen to him. So again, I've respected him, so now he respects me. My husband, who is a metal type, has become less dictatorial because he respects the 5-element system and realizes that water type kids can shut down when parents get too strict. So here's a hint. The metal types are usually the bad cop, like the really strict parents. So anyway, enough about me. Now we're going to get into the 4 keys to unlock the secrets to effective parenting. It's based on the 5-element types of parents and kids. And family harmony occurs just as in nature when all 5 elements are respected and balanced. Step 1 is identify your kid's 5-element type. You may have one kid or several, and they may all be different types. The type depends on whether they're introverts or extroverts and some common tendencies. If they're very outgoing and confident, they're probably either wood or fire. If they're more introverted or more reserved, they're usually metal or water. If they're a mix, they may be earth. So the wood type is outgoing, confident, the most outgoing of the 5 types, the most confident of the 5 types, and the most physically active. They're fearless. They are natural leaders. They always question authority, and this can get them into trouble. Especially now, if you're doing any remote schooling with your wood type child at home, they may just not want to do any schoolwork. They just might absolutely refuse, even if they're very, very bright. They just don't want to do it. They love aggressive sports. They're motivated by competition and high achievement, okay? They always want to win. When they get stressed, they get angry and frustrated quickly. The fire type. The fire type is also outgoing and confident. They are charming, friendly, and enthusiastic. They tend to be very sensitive, moody, dramatic, impulsive, and fun-loving. They are so fun to be around. They're very tactile. They love to touch things, and they love to give hugs. They're very affectionate. They love to touch everybody. They tend to be artistically and or musically gifted. They're motivated by being the center of attention. They love that spotlight. And when they get stressed, the drama just skyrockets, and so does the anxiety and the excitement. The earth type. They may be outgoing, but they don't want to be the center of attention, unlike the fire type. They love and sincerely care for people, so they are caregivers and peacemakers. They're motivated by pleasing and helping others. And when they get stressed, they tend to worry and obsess. The metal type. Again, the metal type tends to be introverted. They prefer routines, patterns, logic, organization. They follow rules. They obey authority. They are detail obsessed. They are taskmasters. They are perfectionists. They're motivated by being right and upholding justice. When they get stressed, they tend to cry and get pessimistic and just think of worst case scenarios. The water type is even more introverted than the metal type. They tend to be lost in deep thought, quiet, imaginative daydreamers. They have no sense of time. They can't be rushed. They may be slow-moving, slow-speaking, and might have some developmental delays, even if they're not officially on the ADHD autism spectrum. They're motivated by knowing the benefits to themselves and others. And when they're stressed, they want to be alone. They might just run away and go to their room and close the door for a few minutes. So step 1, identifying your kid's 5-element type. If you are trying to distinguish between wood and fire, wood is usually more physically aggressive and athletic, and fire is usually more artistic, more dramatic, more expressive. Okay, so if the kid is introverted and you're trying to distinguish between metal and water, the metal type is usually gifted in puzzles and strategy games and also assembly work like Legos. Whereas the water type is more observant and introspective and, just contemplating their navel. So the metal type wants to complete a project, and the water type is just happy, just being. Earth types could be introverted and extroverted at different times, and they often change to fit in with their peers. They want to do what their friends are doing, and they love to take care of things and people and see everyone happy. These are the nurturers, the peacemakers, and people pleasers of the world. So here's an example of somebody that I helped. So the mom of this 3-year-old wood child was getting constant complaints from the daycare. She was always getting cornered by the other moms after the end of a work day because they would say that her kid was hitting their kids. And he was never sitting still. The parents at home, the only way they could get him to sit still was to have him watch cartoons on their iPhone, like really at a very young age. So I helped the parents identify his element type, which is wood, and helped them parent based on that type. And I guided the parents to work with the daycare staff. Now the kids he used to hit want play dates with him. Step 2, identify your type and your partner's type. Do you prefer to work outside the home, or do you prefer climbing the corporate ladder or making your own hours? Wood parents work their way up to the top of a large, high visibility organization. Fire parents make phenomenal salespeople because everyone loves being around them. They're very fun-loving. And they love to work at many different things and hobbies, so they have lots of interests. So just like fire, in nature, wants to move around. It doesn't stay still. Fire people just want to do a lot of different things. They're not happy when they're locked down to do just one thing or stay in one place. Earth parents love being at home full-time, volunteering for school duties, and they commonly work in teaching and counseling careers. Metal parents love the structure of corporate life, but mainly they like to be individual contributors instead of managers. Water parents sometimes have a hard time finding their career or their life purpose. They prefer low-stress jobs and a quiet atmosphere. Okay, so let's continue this thought about good cop, bad cop. So the good cop parents, which is the more permissive and easygoing that kind of let the kids do what they want, those are usually the earth and the water types. And then the bad cop, or the parents that are a little stricter, those are usually the wood, fire, and metal types. So if you are a good cop, bad cop, and you're having that problem, this way you know each other's types and you can just tone down your type a little bit. So your element largely determines what challenges you typically face. A wood parent is usually too busy with work to have patience with babies and toddlers, but will participate more as the kids get older. A fire mom trying to be at home full-time with the kids will be miserable and stressed because, again, fire types don't like to stay in one place. So they don't want to be staying at home all day and not being able to get out and do stuff. An earth parent may be too nurturing and not strict enough with wood and fire kids. So the wood and fire kids might just walk all over that earth parent. A metal parent has just the opposite issue. They may be too strict, too obsessed with rules and order, which usually doesn't work for most kids. A water parent may be too yielding, too easygoing, and fail to notice a behavior or developmental problem or fail to act on it. Can you see how not acknowledging you and your partner's parenting strengths and challenges can be disastrous for the whole family? So here's another example. The wood dad and the earth mom. The wood dad insisted on giving his 4-year-old water kid a bath every night, but frequently ended in tears and screaming. I taught the earth mom how to set boundaries with her husband so he would stop rushing the bath ritual. Bath time finally became a bonding time rather than a battlefield. Step 3, learn how to parent based on your element and your kids' elements. This is key. Wood kids need parenting with metal qualities to calmly yet strictly set rules and consequences. Fire kids need parenting with water qualities to stand calm in the face of their emotional outbursts. Earth kids need parenting with wood qualities to set goals for them. Metal kids need parenting with fire qualities to show them how to lighten up and have some fun. Water kids need parenting with earth qualities to give them extra TLC because they need more pampering, a little more babying, even at an older age. So learn how to parent based on the elements, and so you must understand your kids' motivation. Wood types are motivated by winning against others. Fire types are motivated by being the center of attention. Earth types are motivated by maintaining relationships. Metal types are motivated by solving problems and achieving things alone. Water types are motivated by how outcomes benefit them. Conflicts arise when parents and kids don't understand how the elements can oppose each other. For example, if the parent and kid are both fire, they are constantly competing for attention. Or if the parent is wood and the kid is water, the parent is going to be expecting the kid to be more aggressive and more of a go-getter, and the water type kid isn't like that. So here's another example, the earth mom and the fire kid. The earth mom kept trying to force her 12-year-old fire daughter to stop being so selfish and needy so she could keep more friends. I taught the mom how to use her daughter's true nature, and her daughter was actually a brilliant artist. So by adjusting her parenting practice and accepting her daughter's nature, the earth mom sparked confidence in her fire daughter, which helped her keep more friends. Step 4, become that mom that always gets compliments on her kids. This mom learns to understand the 5 elements and how they interact. This mom has the confidence to ignore useless parenting advice. This mom gets closer to her kids even during the pandemic. Learn how to identify your kids' 5 element types, learn how to identify the 5 element types for you and your partner, and then learn how to adjust your parenting practice based on your kids' 5 element types. Do you want your kids to grow up and say that you didn't get them? Do you want them to complain that you pushed them to do the wrong things and let them give up on their true talents? Or do you want them to say that you made them feel accepted so they could bring out their best self, even during the pandemic? So here's another example, the fire mom and the water teen. The fire mom gave up on her 17-year-old water kid's avoidance of family time. She thought she wasn't good with any adults. I helped the mom accept her more and to see her daughter's need for private time. Acceptance from her mother changed her daughter's behavior, so she actually started going downstairs and joining the family at dinner time, finally, instead of avoiding them. And her stepdad noticed a huge change in her attitude. Here's another example. During the pandemic, these very confident, headstrong, wood and fire 9-year-old twin girls became destructive during the lockdown. I mean, really, throwing furniture out the window, throwing electronic devices, breaking pictures from the wall, throwing things, breaking their tablets, everything. It was scary. I helped the wood dad and the fire mom see how they were fueling the fire. So by adjusting their parenting practice to act more like metal and water parents, helped them end the tantrums and brought them all closer together. So today I promise to describe the 5 element personality types, wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, to share the 4 steps to unlock the secrets to effective parenting, so you can get your kids to listen, behave, and succeed in school and life without killing their spirit. So what you need to succeed is the 4 steps. First, identify your kid's 5 element type. Step 2, identify yours and your partner's 5 element type. Step 3, learn how to parent based on your element and your kids' elements. Step 4, become that mom that always gets compliments on her kids. What's the fastest, most effective way to succeed? Learn from someone who has seen dozens of parent-child personality combinations. I've seen what goes wrong and I know how to make it right. So now it's time to make a choice. Now that you know that the 5 elements guide the way to parenting success, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep struggling on your own, or do you want to get some help? So I've compiled all my parent coaching experience into an online program for only $27 right now. It walks you through the 4 steps to get your kids to listen, behave, and do their schoolwork, so you can finally get your life back and stop having to yell. It's 8 modules step by step. So again, step 1 is module 1. Identify your kid's 5 element type. You get 1-page cheat sheets for each element type, so you can, it helps you figure out what activities that your kid is going to be good at based on their element, and it also helps you figure out play date compatibility and friend compatibility so that you know which friends are really better to have your kids spend time with based on the friend's element. Module 2 is about finding out your own type. So in both of these modules, I give you a lot more detail about the 5 types. And then you get a cheat sheet for module 2 for your type as well to help you understand each of the 5 element kids, where you might be going wrong, and how to get you back on track. Module 3, adjust your parenting style to be effective with kids of any 5 element type. Module 4, get easy instructions to eliminate the most challenging situations for each 5 element type. Then in Module 5, I help you do a deep dive. It's a parenting assessment. It tells you exactly what is pushing everyone's buttons so you can finally stop the yelling. Module 6 gives you owner's manuals to raising each type of child. So these are extensions of the cheat sheets. So the cheat sheets are just one page, but these are extended versions of the cheat sheets, and they let you make action plans. Module 7, it's about the teen years. And so whether you're already there or you haven't gotten there yet, it's going to help you eliminate the drama. Module 8, it's all about sibling rivalry. So I give you the perspective of each element and the root cause of sibling rivalry based on your kids' elements and how to finally get rid of it for good. And then the bonus module, Parenting Through a Pandemic. Here's where I give you specialized help for coping with the pandemic for each of the 5 element type kids and moms. So I give you advice for each element for the moms, and then I go into detail for each element kids so you can really help yourself during this time. I also give you remote learning advice for each element type kids, including how to get teachers to understand your kids' needs. No other parenting program addresses this. I give you lifetime support, so 8 modules with video lessons and downloadable resources. Lifetime access 24/7, self-paced, easy one-page cheat sheets. And I give you customizable scripts written for you, just for you. So with each module, you'll get an email sent to you to help you with the module. If you're having trouble, if you're stuck somewhere, you can't figure out your type, you can't figure out your kids' types, and you really are still having trouble with bedtime, or you're still having trouble with something to do with schoolwork or a teacher or anything, just reply to one of the emails and tell me your problem and I'll help you. That's included in the cost. Then there's a bonus module, Parenting in a Pandemic. So this is a steal of a deal for a limited time. So here's the options. So there's a bronze option, it's only $27, and even this option still includes email access to me for customized scripts. The silver option includes live video coaching in a small group, 4 to 6 parents maximum, where I'm leading you in a weekly group session. Then if you need more private help, you could go the gold option, which includes private one-on-one weekly video calls with me plus VIP access to me. So that means 24/7 access. You can text me anytime in a parenting crisis and I will get back to you. When you purchase, here's what you're going to see. This is the title page for our program. You're going to get a video with each module and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So this is with all the 3 options, even the one that's only $27. If within 30 days of purchase, you request a customized script via email and you don't see instant results with you and your kids, you get your money back. So you have nothing to lose here. If you put this off, you and your kids are going to keep struggling. The price will go up to $147 pretty soon, and you'll be back to obsessing over books and blogs. Now, to find out more details, make sure you go to this website because there's a lot more detail about the program, a lot more details about each of the modules. So the website is the number 5 elementparenting.com/program. So again, thank you for coming. I really appreciate your time. If you want to know more about the program, a lot more detail about each module, and all the options, check it out here. The number 5 elementparenting.com/program. Thanks again. Have a great day.